Yeah, all right. Bringing up Podbean as we speak. No music before the show time on there. Podbean is live now. Welcome to Thursday night at Southern Patriots podcast. Also, Wolf Nation, Cornbread Nation, Patriot Nation. These are all entities of the Southern Patriots podcast, officially under the business name Southern Fried Cornbread Nation. And also our radio. We'll have a kickoff on our radio station. We got a lot of stuff cooking. Just got to get the time, the money, a lot of time, a lot of money. Keep on going with it, and we'll get there. Hello, Dean Potts, Dean Chaser Potts. He's been working the phones. He's like a telephone right now. He's out there working the phones, but he's not waiting for the phone to ring. He's making it ring. He's bringing home the goods. You're doing a good job, son. Keep it up. Actually, a great job. We got a lot of things cooking on the racing side, sports. We got things working on other areas as well. Tonight was supposed to be music with a very wonderfully gifted young lady who will be on next week. She had to change it. Yeah, you've been chasing all day, brother. You've been chasing all day. You've done an outstanding job. This may be your finest day ever on this planet. That might be a stretch, but he's done an amazing job today. He's like a reporter. He's getting the story, bringing it up. We'll wait. We're waiting on news. So we got some new interviews coming, a handful, and we're waiting on what's a pretty special interview. We're waiting for the finalization of that. And you're welcome, man. Hey, man, credit where credit is due. I'm the idea guy, and I put the idea in Dean's mind and heart, and he goes after it like a bulldog after a pork chop or something. I don't know if they go after pork chops, but we'll see. But welcome to Wolf Nation. Biscuit Boy's supposed to be here. I don't know where he's at. He must have had something happen. Hopefully everything's okay. You know, life happens, but I think because I haven't heard from him, I think he forgot. I'll give him a hard time about it. He'll probably sit down and go, "Oh no." The show must go on. So it's Wolf Nation. We're still going to talk the same old stuff. It's your adventure. Wolf Nation is about all adventures, and we're going to talk about whatever that adventure is tonight. We're going to have fun with it. That's the idea on this show, is to have fun. There's a little video I put out there. A little animated video of me and a wolf today. I was trying to get it up into the show before, but I was pushed late. You know, I was helping the wife, and plans got changed just slightly, so I was kind of in a real dead run. Hey! Who you talking about getting old? It's not me. It's some other people. Me and my old music, my old sports stories. I try to get new ones though. I do. We're excited though to be here in Wolf Nation. I have new merch ready in the store, and we're not going to really kick it out yet because I want to add more, and we've got quite a few. Hey, don't be slinging that this way, brother. I think you're right in that club. That's club. It's not Club Med. It's Club Geritol. You know. I never took that in my life. But they used to make jokes about that, the Geritol. Shout out to all the people that's been reaching out to us. We've had just a wonderful bunch of people that have really believe they like what we do. They've said some very kind things, and we appreciate that. That is an absolute blessing. And hey, you know, had some people call me today. I appreciate them praying with me and for my wife and wishing me well. Those are wonderful things. Yes, don't forget Patriot Mobile. I have got this weekend, I've got to get things switched over behind the scenes for them too. Lots of things I got to get done, and I had a little trouble switching. They're getting a new landing page, and I've got to do that. I will work on that feverishly tomorrow. That's some of that behind the scenes stuff, but I've been accomplishing a lot here lately. I'm kind of got my mojo back. Things are back in square, and we're headed forward. Just had to get that schedule kind of down on how it's going to work. I think you know, a hiccup could happen today, but as it goes right now, I think it's pretty good. So but good things happening. But anyway, the young lady will be on next Thursday night. Darren Wolf Nation. She fits perfectly for that show, and we may get to hear music. I don't. We're definitely gonna hear music. I believe. I don't know if she's gonna play or play it off the thing or play it live. She may play it. She has a new album coming off. We're going to record it though. It may be recorded like before we go live, and I got to make sure there's a time frame here where we have to wait. So it's possible we may have the Wolf Nation. It may be the same show, then we'll have hers. I gotta, she's got album release coming. Her name is Suzanne, and I am telling you, wow, what a voice! And I can't wait to hear her stories. And so we're very looking forward to that. Stumbled upon her; she's been gracious, and I look forward to hearing her story. She's got a real blues background, and man, she's got a voice like something like out of talk about old times. I mean, like you just don't hear stuff like that anymore. To me, and just rich, amazing. We'll talk more about that. I'm not trying to be secretive. We're waiting. There's certain things we can't say because we know that she's going to be on here, but we can't. We say we wouldn't talk to, we're not going to play the album until it's released. So, you don't want to jump somebody on that. I mean, they've got their album release date, and we got to get to that day, then we can play the video. So yeah, we got the folks at Horsepower Coffee going to be coming on with us. We got a date set for that. He's got an amazing story. I've only heard a little piece of it. I said, don't want to hear any more. Hey, what's up there, agents? How you doing? Thanks for the follow. We'll be following you back. I do that every time. We appreciate that. Just give me a little bit, and I'll make sure you get a follow back. God bless you wherever you're from. Hope you're having a wonderful and fantastic Thursday night. But Brent with Horsepower Coffee will be on. I am waiting. He shipped today. They have one flavor right now. I'm going to try the coffee too, even though we have our own coffees and all that. We like to sample different things. But he's got an energy drink coming in. It's called Kickin' Strawberry. It's the only one they have yet. It's kind of a new thing, and they'll be adding to it, I'm sure. I told him today I'm going to try it live on air. I'm next whenever it comes in, probably the next racing show. Hopefully it'll be in by the time we go live with the racing show. It's very possible it could be in by when is our next racing show, Dean? Monday, or no? Yeah, Monday. So maybe it'll come in. I don't know if it don't. We'll do it. We'll do it the next one after that. But I'm going to try it live on air. I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to try it live on air. Kicking Strawberry. I may have Dean in there trying it too. We'll probably just bring, if he can come on, we'll just have Brent come in and we'll just do a little promo right there for Kicking Strawberry. Horsepower. I love it. Coffee. They're great people, and I love their merch, and we'll be putting up some stuff for them. Good people. I like to help good people if I can. Maybe my help won't help. Sometimes help don't help. All I can do is try, and that's the thing. I want to try, and we got an audience of hundreds and thousands, and when you start when all these things get seen by all the people across the world, and I mean, people go back and look at videos we did over a year ago, and they'll be making comments on it. It blows my mind. So they're watching shows and they're watching shorts and full interviews and all this stuff, and they'll make a comment about something in there, and I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago. I had that happen this week. Well, actually, it's happened twice in the last 2 weeks. One, I mean, old stuff, like way back when I was in the old studio. We didn't even have this studio. I'm like, man, they went back and looked back in the archives. I was like, that's cool. And they were being positive. It wasn't being a negative thing. It was positive. And so you put these out there, and that's the potential. Every time they see something on one of your shows, they're seeing your brands. They're seeing somebody else that you're helping along. And you just never know how God's going to use things like that. I'm a big believer in, the divine. I mean, our lives are guided by the divine hand. We just got to do our part that God gives us. And the open doors will come. The doors will close that need to close. I don't get too wrapped up in things that maybe don't go my way. Sure, in my flesh side, I don't like it sometimes. But in the end, I know it's true that it's all going to work out. It's all going to be glorious. It's all going to be wonderful. And, it's great. So you play anything. What are you talking about, Dean? I can't play anything. I looked at it wrong. Oh, he did. He said, then he said, he cleaned it up. Can't play anything. Well, I know one thing you can play. It's that baby Donica Patrick tub squirt thing you had. You could play with that in the tub. Oh my gosh, I love you, man. Dean, what a guy. You know what I'm going to do? I think I can do it pretty quickly here. Actually, I can do it very quickly because I actually put it in my computer. We're going to play a clip. It's all about you, Dean. We're gonna. I haven't moved all of them, but I'm going to. Let me get back in here to where I can do it, and let's pull up video. So I don't have anything under videos right now. I can do this. I have a lot of room in here. That's good. And let's see if I can find it real quick. So where? Oh, I know what I got to do. Sorry. It will be in my iCloud. Then I'll have to bring it up. So I'll keep talking. Don't worry. It'll be here. It just takes things happen in a roundabout way when you have to move things to computers and all that. So I'm working on that now. But it's been a great day. It's a beautiful day. The weather is truly amazing, and I love this weather. It's spring-like. You might have a little bit of chill in the morning in the air around here, and maybe just a little bit of heat. I could actually go without it, but I do it a little bit for the wife, and because she gets cold pretty easy. But it is beautiful weather. The rain got out of here, and it's been great. All right, so if you see me looking off the screen, I'm working some stuff here just to make sure I'm paying attention. I'm still working the work. And let's see what you will pay for that. It's cute, Dean. It's cute. Let me get down here and watch me not be able to find the thing. I think that's it right there. Oh, there it is. Yes. Let me download that. Oh, yeah. We're about a minute out from this glorious clip. I love you, man. And the file. I don't normally do this when I'm working on the screen, but, the engineer. Hey, engineer, help me out. We got to get us an engineer. One of these days we'll do it. We'll have an engineer, and I'll just be free to be crazy as all get out. And I'll just tell the engineer, hey, pull up clip number 5, Some that don't want to be on camera ever, and they'll just be happy to do engineering. The pay is great. We give you absolutely nothing but a bottle of water, a cup of coffee, and maybe a little energy drink. All right. Let's see if this will play from live from the SFP Racing Hour. Dean Chaser Potts from Dean's Vault. He did it to himself. I didn't do a thing. He did it to himself. The Donica Patrick show and tell.
You a Donica fan?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a T-shirt of hers.
He had a T-shirt. See, and then we have.
I used to.
This is what is this thing? A bass squirter. What is this, like a duck? Is this like a duck that you play in the tub with? I know a tub. I mean, what's that? That's what it says, folks. I'm not making it up. Bass squirter. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not making it up.
That's funny.
What in the world, Mom? What is going on with your boy? It's from Bass Scotts, and it says raising the next generation of fans.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Dude, you shouldn't have brought that and showed that to me. You're not living that one down, man. Kentucky. There's gonna have to be a picture off of that. Hello, AI.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Wolf Nation Coffee, there is the Shopify address for that. Get you Wolf Nation Coffee. I got a new shipment in today, matter of fact, 6-bean blend I've had before. I think it's in my mailbox. I don't think they said delivered, so I didn't sit laying around. I think it's in my mailbox. So just ordered one this time because I'd ordered some from Horsepower and some drinks. So all that I think I ordered in the same week. But yeah, Dean, there you go, baby. And for you on Podbean, I didn't have that loaded up. You wouldn't have seen it. You would have heard it. It wouldn't have made sense. So I just played a little music while that bot was playing. So if it was a short gap there. So pardon me for that when you hear the playback on this. But that was classic, man. Thanks, Dean. You're great. Oh my goodness. Dean will be proofing everything he brings ever from now on. Like, what is there anything on here Dave can use? Like, what is that? Oh, hello to you, Tron Cat and Podbean. God bless you. Thanks for joining. However long you're here, the Wolf Nation Show with the Cornbread Man, Dave in the AM, here at the Southern Patriots podcast. And it's all about your adventures. What adventures have you done? And everything. It's adventurous spirit. So it's not limited to anything. Of course, we do cover a lot of outdoor hiking and rock climbing or bicycling or trips across the country, places you've been. It could be anything. It's an adventurous spirit. The wolf knows is our tagline on that. The wolf knows, and he does. And I was going to pull up. I don't know if I have it. Let me see if I got that. I'll put that up. It's just a little quick thing that I made today. And so I put it out. I think I just got it on Facebook, but I thought it was kind of cute. I don't know if I actually have it. Well, there's the picture, but I don't know if that's the video. Let me see if that works. If it does, just a little clip of me and the wolf. And yeah, there it is. And so I think the wolf, there's no sound. I think the wolf is pretty excited about what we got going on here. So, gives me the old high paw. The wolf is happy. He's excited. The wolf knows. He's giving me, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. I did I did this trip one time. It was actually a concert that I went to because I did a lot of concerts, did a lot of stuff. But I went to this concert and I ran into some guys at the concert. One of them I worked with. And it's kind of one of those things after the concert, you kind of want the after the show. And it was me and my wife. But I had this room set up and, sometimes we just hang out, listen to music. I worked night shift back then, so I was up half the night, sometimes all night long, watching sports, listening to music, all kinds of stuff. We played, sports on video and all that. So anyway, I was at this concert in Chattanooga. I don't remember who it was. It was probably Leopard, to be honest, but I don't remember. I think it was. And I ran into this guy, and before I know it, I opened my mouth and I said, "Hey, why don't you stop by after the show?" And I didn't realize because I just kind of, I never seen him like that. And I look and he's not good. Like he is messed up. Like he's like tripping bad. And I thought, I told my wife, I said, I can't have him come by. So, when he did, like he shows up and I said, let me handle it. And, he got really mad because he said, "You said, and I didn't ever mean it in a bad way, but I was like, I can't have you in. I got my family's in this house, and you're, he was Space Cadet, and that was a messed up night. I felt really bad in one way, but I was kind of angry in another and fearful because he was acting violent, and I'd never seen him like that, and it was a moment. I mean, talking about adventure. I made sure to trust but verify after that, big time, because I thought, what is wrong with this guy? I mean, he's not like that at work. And we had went to a concert before, out of town. Never had seen that. Somebody, either he dabbled or somebody spiked his drink, and that's all I can say. It was not the same guy, and it was like a really effort to get him to go on home. And this is late at night, neighbors are starting to flip on the lights. Like, who's this guy? I didn't want him to get in trouble. And I just couldn't let him in, man, because he was acting so crazy. And I just said, I follow my intuition on this. When my intuition says don't do it, I didn't do it. So I just pulled the pass on that. And he was. I mean, when I met him, he was like, "What happened the other night?" Like, I don't think he remembered half of it because he really was out there. And it's amazing how quick life can go downhill when you don't mean it. You just don't. You don't think it's going to happen. I think about these people that hike alone, and yeah, people have cell phones and GPS and all that on them. People can watch them, but electronics can go bad. And even if help is on the way, some of those places they get into are really out of the way. I mean, there's nothing around, and you're high in the mountains or in the rocks or deep in a valley or wherever. And if you get hurt bad enough, you're not walking out. And that could be scary right there, because what if the weather's bad? What if it's turning really cold? That's why a lot of people, they say, I'm just going to do it alone. I don't want to deal with other people. But at the same time, you really need somebody. You kind of need to travel in at least a couple, 3 group, because if something goes down, you need help. I mean, and you could run up on an idiot, a bad person, but there are people that do that, and to each his own. I kind of think that I would rather have somebody there with me, at least to talk to even. I don't know. What do you think about that? I just think that I just think that I would want somebody there helping me in case something happened. And one time I hurt my knee. I mean, not really bad. I didn't have to have surgery. I probably should have had a little bit of knee, and it doesn't bother me that bad, but it's a little weaker, and it kind of healed, but it probably could use a little cleaning up. But anyway, I don't remember what it was. My knee was bothering me, and I went days and days, and I didn't take and I pushed myself, and my knee was like really bothering me. And one day I went to get up, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't get on my feet. My knee gave out, and it scared me. And I really shouldn't have went, but because I really can't do anything. But it freaked me out. I went to the hospital. And to get to the hospital was an ordeal because I didn't have crutches at that time. I didn't have a wheelchair. I didn't have anything. And I couldn't walk, and my wife couldn't hold me up. And my sons were away. Nobody could help me. I think my mom was still living in. She was disabled. She couldn't help me. And I thought, I'm not calling an ambulance. How in the world do I get to the car? Like, I could not even pull a Chester and just lightly put my leg down. Or anything, limp even. It was gone. And so, believe it or not, I took a hamper and I walked that hamper. I would stiffen my arms to move the next step. And I went all the way from the chair in my house to my car. I felt totally helpless. Like, I can't believe this. And I went there. Of course, they said, you're going to have to check in with a surgeon. Nothing we can do. But I did get some crutches there. They probably cost me $1,000. I don't know. But I got the crutches for them. That was a big help, because then I could get out of there on the crutches, and that helped. So, and I went to, I thought, well, I'm just, going to see what happens here, and I'll take a couple of days off from work. And it started getting a little better. It took me 3 days to get where I could basically kind of limp. I ended up taking a whole week off. I think I ended up towards the end of that week, I could limp and use walls and stuff and I could do it without the crutches. And then when I came to work, I just was very careful for really weeks, and it was very tender. I wore knee braces and all that stuff. And eventually I just got better. And over time, it doesn't really ever bother me anymore, but it's still a little weak in there. So I got to be careful. But I would never take that knee on the trail. I would get it worked on before I went on the trail, or I would be with a big group. Just because you never know, stuff can happen. But I would not want to be alone during times like that, because you can imagine just laying there and then you're left crawling. Remember Biscuit Boy, he talked about that one night. He got hurt out on the trail, and he crawled what was it, 2 or 3 miles? I mean, you can imagine what that felt like. Just pure determination, overcoming, because he had to hurt. I mean, he was already hurting, and then he had to hurt, be scratched up and all that, and get into a road or somebody, or trail back to the main trail, whatever it was, to help him and get help for him. And I just that's a little bit too much for me to do that. So I just thought, I don't know about that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just think I would want to be sure. But some people are lone wolves like that. Like they like to go out by themselves. They don't really want to talk to anybody. To them, it's one with nature, quietness. They may listen to something on the earbuds, but really they're just one with nature. They don't want to be bothered by any of that. I'm not like that. Hey, Dusty, how you doing, bud? Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday night. Appreciate you stopping in. We got to get Dusty a nickname. Like, I'm the cornbread man. We got the biscuit boy. We got the cat lady. We got Dean Chaser, the chaser. We got Dusty. I like Dusty. I like the name, but Dusty needs he needs a nickname. We're gonna have to work. And I don't nicknames just kind of come. Now you can never force it. So it will happen. I mean, it's like a trail name. Yeah, doing good, man. My partner, I think I'll pray for Paul. I hope he just forgot. I hope he's okay because he's usually here promptly, and we usually go live with the show. But we will endeavor to persevere, as the Indian said. But yeah, you can't get. Hey, Jerry Barrett, I can go either way with someone else or by myself. So you could do the alone hike the trail, Jerry. Be one with God out in His creation, and it wouldn't bother you a bit. I'm not saying I couldn't do it. Like I'm not afraid to go out. Like I wouldn't say, "Oh, I can't go." Forget that. If it required it of me, if there was no other way, or somebody pulled out, and I said, I didn't set up my whole time to say walk the Appalachian Trail, I would go. But my druthers would be that I have somebody because I like interaction. I like interaction between people. I'm a people. I know Jerry is too, but he's just a crusty, hard preacher. He grew up tough, hay farming, all that stuff. You know what? He's just out there. That's probably his way to just not have to listen to anybody because pastors ears gets wore out. He says I have done it while hunting before. Well, that's true, but hunting, but you're not for days and weeks. Hunting, I get. That doesn't bother me at all. I would like the solitude of sitting in the tree stand waiting for the deer to step out or whatever you're hunting. But yeah, but could you do like weeks, months? Because it's months to do the whole trail, unless you're doing section hiking. Now you could do that. You could do some day hikes for a few miles and just section hike the thing. However, even if you stayed a night or two, whatever a week, it's not like forever. But it can get pretty lonely on the trail, if you're alone. But Jerry says, "Hey, I can do it." Dusty said, "I'd love to have a nickname." What about Hot Wheels Puff? Hot Wheels Puff. A nickname has to you just have to let it breathe a little bit. It's and I can't say right now. When Dean the Chaser, we first mentioned that. We was like, no, he thinks I can do better, but it really fit him. It really fit him. I like that. Dean Chaser Potts. I like the Chaser. I like it. I bet Jerry's got a nickname. Well, we know he's Papa, but that's a granddaughter kind of thing, grandson kind of thing. I would like to know what Jerry's nickname is. I mean, he's probably got some friends. Your family doesn't usually do it. He's probably got some friends out there, and a nickname's come in all sizes. I mean, Stretch, what I mean, who knows how they get them? I mean, it just happens. A good nickname is given, or it's never. You just can't decide it for yourself. I mean, you can. I mean, you can throw something out there and see if it kind of works. But the best nicknames, the ones that really stick, are the ones that I did not set out to be the cornbread man, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I was using my other stage name, Dave in the AM, for the morning shows, but only on the morning shows. And shout out to Angry Conservative 1981 on the Rumble side, who gave me that name. He called me the cornbread man, and it just kind of stuck. And I love it. I love it. I go by it, and it's my stage name. Well, I should have put a disclaimer. We've probably all got a name like that. I mean, to be honest, there's probably a lot of people that have called us things. My name's Cordell. And not Cordell there, Dean, not Cordell, Cordell. And there was a guy I went to school with. I won't say his name, and he was one of those guys. He was amazing. Like he wasn't really an athlete, but he was athletic. Like he was a big, stocky. He's speed. He played sports in school, but he wasn't like that wasn't his thing. But he was on medication to bring him down a little bit, to dial it down. And when he wasn't on his medication, he was hard to deal with. I mean, just honestly, everybody would say, "Take your medicine," because he had it with him if he hadn't took it, and because he would just too much, too spastic. He gave me a nickname. I hated the nickname. I still hate it. I'll never use it, but I'll tell you by way of telling you, I'll abuse myself. It's not bad, but so he take the accordion. And he called me Whorehell on the school bus. I'm like, oh man, I was a real quiet kid, and everybody laughed, and I was like, every time he would see me after that, he would call me that. Thank goodness nobody else on the bus did. I really didn't have a nickname in school. I was just Cordell, or a few close friends called me Dave. I never had a nickname in school. The first nickname I got was at work, and my love of music. We used to listen. I still listen to them sometime, but there's a sports show in my town or next town over that when you call in, most people use a nickname. And I never had called in, but we were calling picks in for a big, I think it was for a race. And so they said the guy that called in, I forget what he said his nickname was. He said, "Hey, I got a couple of the guys here that want to put their picks in. Is it okay if I give them?" They said, "Yeah, what's their nicknames? Or, what do they go by? What's their handle or something, whatever they said." And one of the guys on the stage, he's not there anymore, but one of the guys that was on the co-host was called Music Man. And so he said, "Well, I know you've already got a Music Man, but our guy here, he's Music Man." And I said, "No, that's cool." So they had called me that because I was always listening to music, and I brought in tons of different kinds of music. We could listen to music on the job. I had a duffel bag full of CDs, and we would listen to radio too, but we would play a lot of music. And my nickname for years was Music Man. Nobody remembers that anymore. Nobody but me. It was a work thing, and it was one of those things where some of them are even dead. But none of us, except for probably one or two, still even work together anymore. And I don't know that they ever even knew that. But the ones that were right around me, that's what they called me. But that nickname died like bad, wrong. So, some people don't like that, and some people, we gave a guy a nickname once, and he loved it. He loved the nickname, and there was a lady we worked with. She's probably in heaven now, but she didn't like it that we did that. We said he likes it, and she said, "I will never call him that." We're like, "We don't care." And she was like making us, trying to make us feel bad. And he told her, he said, "Oh, I like it." But he only went by it at work. It was a work nickname. And I don't say who the guy's name was or anything, but we went to his house one time to help him move some stuff or pick up some stuff he was giving away or something. And one of us in front of his wife said, because that's what we always called him. We called him the nickname. And his wife looked at him, and she looked back at us, and it happened 2 or 3 more times. And I heard her asking her, she goes, "Hey, why are they calling you that?" And he's like, it's just a work name." He had never told his wife. And we didn't know that, to him that. But he went by that. I'd say, I bet he's still going by that name. But it wasn't nothing wrong with the name. But it was just funny. It fit him to a T because the way he acted. And, it was funny. But, I would never nickname somebody to be demeaning or anything like that. I wouldn't do that. If they want to do it to themselves. I used to work with a guy named Stoney. That was his nickname, Stoney. Let's just say the name fit. That's the name he gave himself. Or I don't know. I guess he did. He said, "You can call me Stoney." I said, "Okay. Is there a story behind that?" And he said, "I don't know. Maybe." I said, "Whatever." So that's what I don't remember his real name. That's been 30 over 35 years ago. This guy, I can't remember his real name, but I can remember his nickname. That's because I've been at my job as of yesterday. This job that I've had, the job I have right now, 35 years. I can't even believe to say that. 35 years. Hey, Brent, how you doing, man? So good to see you. I hope you've had a wonderful day in selling and packing orders. I think you said you got mine out. I am totally serious. When that comes in, the next racing show we have, I'm going to test that on the air live. I'm going to pop her open. It's going to be cold in the fridge here in the studio, and we're going to do that. I'm going to get Dean I'm going to get him to do it too. And if you want to come on that night and pop in while we do it, we'll do it. And we'll just have a little promo for that kicking strawberry. So, if you can make it. But I'm going to do that. I think it's a good idea. Like, we're going to do that. I love it. Yeah, I love it. This Horsepower Coffee, y'all give them a follow on Facebook. A lot of us already have. Horsepower, I love it. He really kind of works within that racing world. He's going to be on with us, telling us his story as well. We've already got a date set for that, and looking forward to it. But yeah, I am so looking forward to that. Small company, but growing. Small but growing company. He's working his tail off every day. I know how it is for small business. Every order is like gold. Like, oh, another order. Yes. We just had an order come in. You get to pack that out. That's a satisfying feeling. The greatest feeling I ever had, and it is fun. You know, I've never been a big businessman, but I do have a small business. You know, that's what, and we do sell a few things. So, but it's all to help the podcast. And maybe one day, I have looked into getting deeper into coffee. I'll be honest with you, in a very deep way, but it's not time yet. But we'll see. But the most satisfying thing that I ever sent off, without a doubt, one time I was in West Branson, Missouri, and I was at a missions conference out there with a lot of missionaries, and I was one of the missionaries. And through the week, we were doing the meetings Monday through Friday. We came in on Monday, or some of them came out over the weekend, but I left on that Saturday, I think. I stayed overnight and left Saturday. But during the day, they had the group from Bearing Precious Seed that brought in all the paper, the machines, all that stuff, and set it up in their basement, their fellowship hall. And we put together thousands of John Romans that were going to be headed to South Africa when the World Cup was going on. And I'm telling you, I can't even explain how that felt. Just the blessing of that. And I forget, my job was, I think I was like a stapler guy, they have a machine there, you get there, you get the staples, then every area, it's like an assembly line. We worked on it every day because it takes a long time to do all that. I mean, you're printing them, and then you're doing all this stuff. I think they already had them printed. We just had to put them all up on, get them ready and get them packed, get them together, all the stuff and get them packed, stamped with their whatever. It's been a long time. On that Friday, we packed the trailer out to the top, a big old trailer. And then we gathered around that trailer and we prayed, held hands and prayed over that shipment of the gospel to South Africa. And I just happened to be leaving. I was on Saturday when we finished up, because it just happened to be on that day that I was leaving at the same time. And, it's where this church was, that was a long highway that went back towards the interstate. And then, so I left. I didn't know they was leaving at that time. So, I get ready to pull out. Well, here they go. And they're right in front of me, and I pull in behind them, and we drove for miles and miles and miles. And I'm just riding along, and I'm praying about that. And I was thinking about all the people that was going touch. Yeah. Dean's going to step away and watch the duels. I'll try to get up in the studio here in a minute. What channel, brother? What channel is that on? But anyway, we got up on the interstate, and I rode for miles there. And then there came this parting of, he was going a different way. He was going up north because they were going to take him to the coast and, put him on a container and get him taken over. And I will tell you, that was still to this day, I can never, that feeling of knowing that somebody was going to have in their hand that word. I tell you, it was special. It was absolutely special. That's God's work, and it was just amazing, amazing thing. FS1 for anybody that's interested. The duels, yes. Dean's favorite driver, Kyle Busch, got the pole. Oh, sorry, that's not Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott. I'm sorry, Chase Elliott. He didn't. He had it for a little while, right, Dean? That's what confused me because his favorite driver, Chase Elliott, had the pole, and then he lost it. Good night. Dean's going to go get in his racing world. He's probably got the racing jacket on. He's probably got racing slippers on, racing pajamas, racing hat. He is locked in. It's Daytona, got the duels. That is amazing, and we'll get that. I'll be kicking over there in a few minutes myself. I'll still go live as this show will end. I'm going to put it up here on the TV and keep it out or here on the screen or something. So sign in and do it. But Dean's got payback coming for me. Now, Dean, don't tell me that you haven't ever sit there with your racing pajamas on, slippers, the hat on, with your water, racing water bottle. Yeah, I know you have. The only thing you need a dog. Dean needs a dog. And then the dog could wear like Chase Elliott, dog gear and stuff like that. That'd be cool. That'd be a great picture, Dean. Enjoy it, brother. Tell you folks said, hey, God bless them. Oh, what is he saying? That's the Dean. He's going to let me know what's going on. Awesome. Thank you, sir. But yeah, that was a fantastic, wonderful thing to be able to do that, and just great people, honestly. And I was able to stay with some people that was in a beautiful, it's the only gated community I could ever think to even be a part, because it was so spread out, beautiful landscapes with boulders all around. It's like being up in the mountains, but you kind of weren't in the mountains and you weren't far from town, but it felt like you were out of way. It was awesome. And it was just a beautiful homes, beautiful location. And really the gated part was just they had some crime around there. And so it wasn't like, it was really just to make sure that people coming through were, good. It was gated only to the point they needed security at the front and to protect that, because it wasn't like gated all the way around or nothing like it. It was just the street. They were trying to be very careful with that, who came in and not. So they just checked and make sure if you were visiting someone, they gave you a code or something, because they said it had some crime. And unfortunately that happens that close to town, which it felt like it wasn't, but that close to town, you're going to have crime. The duels. Yeah. But yeah, I just think if I was going down the AT, I would want some company, at least a dog. Speaking of dogs, I think if I had the dog, the trusty dog, I think that would be great too. You could have the dog. But as far as all the, the walking and the hiking and all the things you do, I think I would love all that, just to get away for a while, to kind of deprogram. I think of all the sermons I would get out of that. Yes, Dusty, the duels are tonight for Daytona be kicking. I guess they're kicking off right now. So might want to turn that on. FS1, the Daytona duels. I love the race week and Daytona 500. Hope it don't get rained out. I love this race. Kyle Busch on the pole. Got the duels tonight. Filter out the rest of that. Hopefully nobody will wreck their car and have to go to the back, blowing engine, that same thing, It would stink, one of the bad things about racing is this. When I say every once in a while, it happens often. It's just different people usually. All the work that goes into getting to a racetrack, especially for these NASCAR, these cup teams, all the work that they do to get to a track, and the first lap or two, it's over. And they're loading it all up and moving to the next town. That would stink. You want to race, and sometimes the damage is so bad, you're done. Hit the showers, kid. It's over. That would stink. All that work, all the people behind the scenes, all the people on the staff, the secretaries, the people that clean the buildings and the garage or whatever, they're all riding with that team. That's a lot of people. And then all the fans and stuff. Just you're anxious, like, yes, let's go. It's Daytona. Big wreck, first lap or two, 3, 4 laps, whatever, and your driver's done. Can you imagine paying all that money and being in Daytona at the race? You've paid all that money. You've traveled down, the cost of getting in. You bought memorabilia. You're having fun. You get in there, and it's over in 1 or 2 laps. That would stink. I'd watch the race. I wouldn't leave. I'd be rooting for somebody else, but it would stink. But I know for a fact when Dale Earnhardt would wreck out like that, his fans, a lot of them will leave. I was here for Dale. Heck with the rest of them. They get up and leave. Half the stadium empty out. Like, well, we were a sold out crowd. A lot of the folks are leaving. I guess they were Earnhardt fans. It's like ticked off. Like, man, what the heck? I'm out of here. Beat the rush. I will say, late in Georgia games, I love Georgia. Late in Georgia games, I've been in the stadium before. It'd be late at night, weather crappy, teams playing crappy, and you're kind of hanging in. There's a little bit of hope that they might come back. Maybe they're playing a deficit. Maybe they just tied it up or something happens. And within like 2 minutes, everything goes haywire. And it's like middle of the fourth quarter, and it just doesn't look good. Like they get up a couple of scores, and you're like, this game is over. And you're sitting there thinking, the seats are cold. The team is playing horribly. They're going to lose this game. I got a 3-hour drive ahead of me, and I'm ready to get home. And you just say, I think we're going to head to the car. We'll listen to it on the radio on the way. And some people say that's not being a fan. You can say what you want. I've been at games where it was pouring down rain. It was miserable, and it was not fun at all. And maybe they were even playing really bad. And I just 3 hours is 3 hours. You kind of get the traffic is bad, so you maybe saved half hour. I've done it. I ain't gonna say I haven't, but I didn't leave like some people in a huff and mad and all that. I was just like, okay, it wasn't their day. And matter of fact, sometimes you could hit like they would still like stuff up that you didn't get a chance to go see. And I want to look at something and buy something before you even leave. I've done that too. It's an adventure going to a game. It is an adventure. One time we went to a Georgia game. Late games are rough because everybody tailgates and parties and a lot of people. And I went to Georgia game. I think who are they playing? Auburn. It was Auburn's big game. We went down to the gate late, and anyway, long story short, we got all jammed in there, and nobody could move. And it was bad. Everybody had to go to the restroom. I mean, there's no way all them people's going to be able to go to the restroom. It was midway through the first quarter before I even got to my seat. It was bad. And we ended up losing that game. When you start out like that, you're like, well, we're not going to win tonight. Which in those days, Auburn would win at Georgia and Georgia would win at Auburn. It was the away team always won. So I already had a bad feeling about it. But here we are, stuck among all them people, and you're trying not to think about, I got to go to the restroom. Talk about something else, And people are bumping and pushing and all that. Not fun. Not fun. There's a guy I know, and he took his wife or girlfriend. I can't remember. I was married. I don't know. She didn't have tickets. We did. Or they didn't have tickets. We go to what was for that. I think it was for that game. It was for that game. And he said, "Help me get some scout tickets," And I took him down. We checked with the guy. And I told him, I said, "It's going to be very high, man. This is a big game, big rivalry." Well, nowadays this is nothing. To tell you how long ago it was $150 for 2 tickets. About mid-level up. That's not bad. I mean, today that's gold. But I told him, because when he said the price, I said, "We'll tell you in a second." And I walked the guy over and I said, "Hey, listen, man." I said, "I like going to games, but I got to tell you, for $150, I would take her to this little pizza place right here. This place it's a sports place. I'd go in there and I'd order me a big old Supreme." Back in those days, something in a pitcher. And I'd sit and watch the game in there in comfort. and I'd save myself at least $100, at least. And if he was thinking too, he's like, man, that's a good idea. Then he's like, man, I promised her she could go though. I'm like, okay, there's your guy, 150. And he did. He looked sick. He looked back at me like, oh, wish you hadn't have said that. Kind of planted that seed. Sorry, babe. A guy wanted $1,000. I'm sorry. We got to go in here. Let's just go in here and watch it. Maybe next time. Hey, country boy can survive, And we lost the game anyway. I told him afterward, I said, see, they didn't win. Because that's what I told him. I said, not going to win the game. The home team loses. And he's like, man, I should have listened to you. And the tickets were like not right together, so they were sitting apart. Like, dude, because it was late. We were headed down to the game. I mean, I'm like, man. He's like, he forever will have that memory. Man, I should have listened to him. Some people you can't teach, Like a guy said in Cool Hand Luke, then you get what you get. I'm always looking for a deal, man. I don't have to do the thing that I came to do. I can look for. I went with friends, and when I got there, what I envisioned was not what it was to do some sort of whatever we went to do. And I'd say, I think I'm here, but y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead and enjoy. They're like, oh, come on, man. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Trust me. I am happy and fine. They thought I was mad. I'm like, no, I just don't want to have to do what's fixing to happen here. And I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to enjoy myself reading this book or whatever it is. And I was happy as a lark. And I've done it. I have done it. It doesn't bother me a bit. One thing I don't like to be is miserable. And if I can avoid it, I will do it. Because sometimes things are painted up not the way that people portray them. Like they tell you it's going to be great. Oh, it's wonderful, man. You're going to love this. Great accommodations. You feel like you just landed at SS Minnow. What the heck is this, man? This is terrible. Oh, man, you don't like this? This is great. I'm like, dude, this is not what you said, man. I'll start making my own plans now. I for years have never listened to anybody. I do my own planning. I do my own because I do my own driving. I made that mistake before too. You go with somebody, two things happen there. One is you don't like what's going on and you're stuck. Or two, they don't like what's going on and they leave and you want to stay and you got no way home after that. I just started driving myself. And truth be known, me and Biscuit Boy do a lot of stuff. We ride around a lot and we're all cool. It's all good. And I've got a couple friends like that. But for most people, I don't even like to take anybody because this is what happens. You find out about people when you travel or you go through a difficult day or things ain't going exactly right. And if they're stuck with you or you're stuck with them or however, you're listening to all the complaining, all the griping, all the, or they're the boss. They want to tell you everything to do. Hey, you should pull over here. You should pass this car. I can't stand that crap. Leave me alone and let me do it my way. Maybe it is faster, but I don't like doing that. I don't want to go that way. Or, they're trying to, it's like, just be quiet. Enjoy the drive. And I I used to have this car. It's a great car, but it needed the heater coil replaced. And I was going to do some overtime down at this place. It's about 35, 40 minutes away from where we worked. It's part of our company, but it was a warehouse. Oh my gosh. I should have never told anybody I was going because then people started wanting to ride with me because they didn't want to drive. And I said, hey, listen, I don't mind you driving, but here's the deal. My heater core is messed up and it's cold. And to run that heater, it's going to smoke us out. I just drive with it cold, bitter cold. I wrap up. I got to get it fixed. They're like, oh, that'll be fine. BS. First thing they said, it's cold. Turn the heat on. I said, I told you, it'll smoke. I don't care. It can't be bad. Turn the heat on. Turn the heat on. Here comes the smoke. My God, man, you need to get that fixed. I told you. I said to myself that day, I will never do it again. Never. I feel like I'm trapped. You remember Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? One of my favorite movies. Steve Martin stuck in the middle of the guy coughing, and John coughing like he's coughing, not coughing, coughing, and John Candy. Candy's over here waving his dirty old nasty sweaty socks. This guy's coughing all over him. You can see him like he's pulling his collar. He's about to lose it. That's the way I feel. That everybody's felt that. It's like he's trapped in there. You know, John, he's a big guy. He can't even rest his arm. Like, you know, he's got, you know, I've never had to fly a lot, thankfully. But the people that spread out over their seating area, that's not fair. I mean, you know, they need to have the big boy section. You pay more, whatever. But, you know, they're trying to put, it's like trying to put the 200-pound sack of taters in a 25-pound bag, and it's just everywhere, you know. And you're stuck. I couldn't imagine being on a flight like that. And you got some guy, you know, coughing up a lung on one side, and a guy waving his dirty socks over here on the. I mean, I would feel like I'd feel like jumping. I jumped to my death. This is better than this, you know. I'm just kidding, but that's the way I'd feel. Like, oh, Calgon, take me away. That movie is filled with that, and it's a great story. I love the movie. I could watch it a bunch of times, but that absolutely just drives me crazy, you know. And listen, I'm not judging anybody. You are what you are. Some people you just can't travel with, because listen, most trips don't go hiccup free. They don't, and you just can't live up to some people's standard. They just we're geared different, you know. We're all. Have you ever done the disc test? You know, top A, top whatever. You know, we're all a little bit different, and some of us are a lot alike. It's just the way life is. There's always those, you know, top A folks. I mean, they're leaders. They're born leaders. They'll face whatever's ahead. And you got the people that are not. They're quiet. They're going to be slow and lag behind. And you got people that kind of blend over these. You know, some are great team members. Some are not. They don't like working with anybody. They want to be in a room by themselves working. They don't want to talk to nobody. Other people have to have conversation. You know, they have to have interaction. They go crazy like that. You get stuck in a situation like with a group of people, that would drive me crazy. Just totally drive me crazy. And I'm a team guy. Like I don't want to be. I just tell me what the game plan is. If I feel like I got something to add, I'll do it. It doesn't have to be my way. I'm not like that. But if I can give you something that'll help, I'll do it. But what I can't stand is what I feel like I'm being put on the spot. Like, you know, well, you said. Like going to a race, here's the people I would not go with, because I guarantee if they've never been to a race, I guarantee you they'd be somebody in the crowd's going to be a crier. I didn't like this. It's too hot. It's too noisy. It's too this. It's too expensive. It's too long. And, you know, they just the whole time is ruined because they're just sitting there. Why? Well, you should have told me it was going to be like this. And these are the same people that you sit and, hey, listen, it's going to be a long day. We got to get there very early, you know, whatever the sporting event is. There's going to be some climbing involved, probably, you know, a lot of walking, you know, a lot of people. We'll probably have to deal with some drunks. That's just the way it goes. And they still, it's like they one ear and out the other. They don't listen to, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. Let's go. And you get there, and there they go. It's like they're little princesses, and they want everything handed to them on a silver platter, and you're like, man up. That's my message to them is man up. Gird yourself like a man and deal with it. Shut up. I mean, I just after a point, you're not adding to you're making everybody miserable, you know. Good grief. I mean, at some point, there are those people in life. I hate to say it. Some people you have to look at and you have to say, shut your mouth and don't open it till you have something constructive to say. And they look at you like, I mean it. Like, I've had enough. Like, one more word. Me and you throwing down. I'm like, I've had enough. I couldn't imagine being on a mission trip, being out of country, and you got that one slacker that really shouldn't have come. And they go, I want to go home. I miss my dog. I miss my mom. You know, we're out here walking for miles, and these people are being mean to us. And I don't like the food, and I don't like the bed. I mean, shut up. Jesus didn't promise you. He didn't promise you this yellow brick road. I mean, get over yourself. I've seen it, folks. I've seen it. It's like, My gosh. And I'm telling you, it's things will go wrong. It don't go right. You gotta be light on your feet. You gotta quick on your feet, or whatever you say. You got to be able to navigate and switch gears. And sometimes you got to do it very quickly, or you're stuck for a long time. Like if you miss a connection, you're stuck. And some people, they're the slackers. They're the ones you're constantly like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And it's almost like let me carry your stuff, speed up, because if you're in a foreign country, you're taking trains, cabs, and the cabs could be some dude named Julio with his. I'm telling you, I've done this. Like the first time I was out of the country, dude, we were in the airport, and the guy say, we got us a cab, and we got two of them. They're going to take us to the hotel. I walk out there, and there's some guy in a Suburban, another guy in something. I said, that's the cab. And I looked at the guy because I'd seen some official cabs going by. And he goes, well, it's the same as. So they pull all this stuff out. Dude's he's got speakers in every seat. He has to strap them to the top of the car. That's when he rides around. He's just, boom, boom, listen to music. So he takes all that out. We pack everything in. They jam us in there. Don't even think that there's any safety devices. There's no seat belts. There's no nothing. And me and my wife are sitting there, and it's like this the whole time. I mean, and the first time, and I've never had this happen before. The first time the dude pulled in the oncoming traffic to go around people, my wife, she looked at me, she squeezed my hand. I looked at her and she said, we're going to die. I had to be brave. And I said, no, it's just the way they drive. It'll be good. And I looked away and I was like, dear God, please protect us the whole trip. Like, dude, they just screeched to a halt in front of the hotel. I mean, it was like one of these, man, everybody out, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's normal? The buses, they don't fully stop. When it's your stop, you jump. They're rolling. They don't, that's just the way it is. A bathroom might be a bucket over a hole in the ground. Seriously. I mean, you just got to be able to navigate. I mean, you're riding packed trams, I mean, jammed in there, holding on for dear life because you don't want to fall down and be trampled. You're walking, you're riding, you've got to make sure you're at point B to get to point C, or you're done. And then you got to deal with all the nutsos, the criminals, people that are, good people, bad people. You got all this stuff in it. And through it all, though, you get a great blessing. And you think, if I had not went through all that, I wouldn't have seen this. But what makes it so infuriating, though, is to have somebody they're not on the team. They came, but they're not on the team. And that could be in anything. That could be a camping trip. It could be going skiing. It could be anything. You got to really vet the people you take. And I would suggest, as far as your adventure, that you do a something very short, local, overnight, and see how somebody is before you ever do like a big trip with them, because you got to see them when they're at their worst. Everybody has their worst side. And I just can't handle whining. I can't handle that. I can handle somebody being upset, aggravated. I get that way. But you just put your face in the wind and you figure it out. You get it done. And it's not going to be pretty. Makes me think of my first time in Gasoline Alley. I hear you'll have to tell us about that when you come on. Yeah, man. I mean, it's listen, it's loud, it's nasty, it's all the things, all the adjectives you could take. And we're not just talking about a race. We're talking about life. Life is nasty. Life is difficult. Life is making sure you get what you need. You got to speak up. You got to fight for your right. I'll say that. Timid people have to get untimid really quick, or they get swallowed up in life. You got to learn when you can act like that, when you can. And it'll make a better person out of you, because you'll learn to be a little more aggressive at stuff. But you gotta go for it. I mean, like, the first time I ever drove to Atlanta, I mean, I was not used to that type of driving. I got used to it pretty quick, because if you don't get aggressive, you don't get nowhere. And I learned, I would go down 2 times a month at least. And I learned that city inside and out. I learned every road I could to figure out when something got jammed up, find another way. One time I had a missionary down there in Atlanta, and because the interstate's going to back up, they're going to shut down. Side roads are going to fill. You got to find back alleys, everything you need. And I was down there, and we got off the interstate, and we were in a rough area. I mean, I'd never even been to that particular little spot, but I knew of it. I just hadn't been on every little road there. And my buddy says, "Do you even know where you're at?" Like he got a little bit, a little bit smart with me. I said, that's what I told him. I said, "Will you sit back and shut up and let me navigate?" I said, "I'm driving." He said, "Oh, I didn't mean anything by it." I said, "Dude, it ain't time for that right now." I said, if I don't think I can get us out of here, I'll stop and let you drive. How about that? He said, "Okay." I said, and then because I was having to do some crazy maneuvers, kind of like a race. That's right. You have to become assertive. And really, you have to become that person that cuts people off. Road rage is a thing, but down in big cities, wherever you're at, you got to become that. They're not going to say, "Hey, blink your lights. Hey, y'all come on." No, that ain't the way it works. They get mean, and you got to match that intensity, whether you like it or not, or you're just going to be sitting for a long time. And you don't want to be that person with everybody piled up behind you. Then you got those people mad at you because they're thinking like, "Go, what are you doing?" I mean, when lights change, half the light is people still going. You got to learn to be that person. You do. So there's a lot of lessons in racing I could say could be used, but they're life lessons. And it's very competitive. And, you just people that, some people are not very good at navigation. Like I kind of know where I'm at all the time. Like I just know I have a pretty good directional in my brain about where I'm at. Some people, they take one turn off the street you're on, then they don't know where they're at. I know how to look at landscapes. I know how to, landmarks, the sky, where the sun's at, the moon, whatever. You can work your directions, even in a big city or out in the middle of nowhere. You kind of know. I was in Texas one time, and I was in an area, and I wasn't thinking about it. And listen, maps are I really think everybody should always still have if you're going to travel a lot, should have a paper map because electronics will fail you. And I was in Texas, and we were leaving. We had been at this wonderful, wonderful church. I'd been there for a few days, and we were traveling out, and the GPS went out, like it just gone. It picked back up once I knew where I was at. No good. So I said, "Uh-oh." And my wife says, "What?" I said, "The GPS just shut down." And we're driving through these little bitty small towns out in the middle of nowhere. That was, I think, Central Texas. We were right in the middle of this big state. And she said, "Do you know where you're at?" And I said, "No, but it'll be okay." She says, "What do you mean it's going to be okay?" I said, I know how to find my way. And I just, I said, I just worked it in my head. And, just great having that grid in my head. Okay, I was here. I kind of know on the map where I'm at there, and just worked it. And it took honestly, about an hour before we really got to where we were back. And by the time I got back to where I needed to be, which was, interstates or whatever, or a major highway, the GPS came back on. So you can't trust that stuff. And a lot of people talking about adventures, this kills me. This happens a lot, and it should never happen. Is people go to, like, say, the Rocky Mountains or somewhere out there, other than the desert. And they go up in these mountains or these very remote places, and they have no supplies. They have no backup things for their car, water or something it might need, flares, whatever you need. No battery backup for the phone or something in case the car, at least to give you more time. Nothing. And if all the electronic, and they get lost because they're trusting GPS to take them into places they've never been before. And GPS, as we know, is not perfect. It will lead you wrong places, or you mess up or whatever. But it gets confused. Redirecting. And people have gotten lost, and some have died. And they get desperate. Usually, what will happen is one stays with the car and one goes to try to find help. And a lot of times, they both die. The one gets lost if it's really cold, snow, whatever, or brutal heat, they go out and they just die. Sometimes the people in the car will live. I mean, it kind of works both ways. Occasionally, rescues will happen. It's always important to let people know where you're going. I mean, that's important. And to have, really think through and have triple systems. But a paper map of the area you're in, at least as something that gives you, and a compass. I mean, how many people carry compasses anymore? People I should, I'm sure they do. But some people are very bad at directions. They don't know how to go. I don't know. I'm not mocking them. I'm just not good. It's not their strength. They're not good at it. And they get lost and they don't know how to find their way back. And it is a scary thing. Now, I've been in some places where I was like, man, this looks very strange. Because the worst thing, one of the things you can do when you're doing all this navigating is you can pull into a very bad area, high crime. And that's when it gets, and then if a car breaks down, then you're, like I said, there would be something there with me. I'd be packing, as they say. But still, you don't know what you're going to run up kind of force in this stuff, and you could just be, a target. So some people ride around like it's 1950s, like they're watching Ozzie and Harriet, and everybody's happy that they're in their town, and they just love everybody. And you got a little goofy guy like Eddie or whatever his name was, but he's okay. No, you got bad people, and they want to do bad things. I did my gas wrong one time I was traveling. And listen, I'm not putting you down, Memphis, but your city's full of violence. When troops need to be there for a long time. And I did my gas wrong, and I would. There's areas of Memphis I would never, ever, ever stop for gas. Trust me. And we stopped it. I had to. And it was at nighttime. And I heard a comedian recently talking about this. He didn't say Memphis, but he was talking about another place. It was just me and my wife. And you couldn't pay at the pump. It was messed up or something. I'm like, oh, not good. Because I already had people hollering, like making cat calls, calling me names. And I'm like, my God. So I didn't want to send her to end up pay, but I got to leave her. So I'm like, lock the doors, get behind the wheel. If you see me go down, that's what I told her. If you see me go down, get out of here, call for help. It was that bad. So I'm like in a hurry, go in. And when I go into stuff like that now, I don't stare anybody down, but I don't avoid them either. And I go in like a boss, because you can't look timid. You got to go in like you own it. You don't want to get about ahead of yourself too far because you're by yourself. But there is that little bit, and you got it. It's a gut thing. You just got to know how to do it. There's a little bit of that. They don't know how to read you yet. It doesn't last long, but I've been in a situation like that with a lot of gangs and stuff. And I would walk into an area I didn't really want to be in. And I'd just go into a mode, and I just know how, and they don't know, they're stunned. Like it throws their mind off. And then you just leave, and then you're just out. We did do some gangbangers one night, me and a friend. They didn't like our uniforms because we were doing security, and they pulled up, and they were really getting, it was, I mean, they pulled it with the intention of really coming at us, I think. To what level? Can't say. So it was like instinctively, me and the guy, we were about the same age, instinctively, and we did this with, it was just because it just happened, instinctively worked together. And we went right up to the car and said, hey guys, how you doing? And we just started talking to them and asking them questions and pointing to things about the car. And hey, y'all have a great night. And they're sitting there with their mouths hanging open. And as we were getting in our car and getting out of there, one of them said, hey, who does he think he is? Or who do they think they are? It just totally stunned them. If you're level-headed, you can do that. Now, you could run up on that group, it don't work, but most people, human nature, most people, they kind of hold for a minute because they're trying to read you. It's like an animal. He's going to check you out. Do I go forward, or do I hold, or do I leave? You got to know. Acting a little crazy helps too. Brent, can you become a little crazy? Talking to somebody who's not there. Hey, yeah, they're good. Hey, even a gangbanger don't want to be around somebody that's cray, right? And I'm just saying gangbang. It could be any kind of, I say that. It's not a certain people I'm talking about. I've run into bad people all over the place. I mean, people that just, when I was out of the country, I didn't speak the language, which helped. And our mission lead, she turned around and shooed some people out who were following us. I thought they were just talking to us. She said, she turned around, she got in their face like, get out of here. And I said, what was all that about? She said, you don't want to know. She said, this is one of the times it's really good that you don't speak the language. I said, okay, let's go. But they were up to no good. But she was, let me tell you what, she was street tough. She could be as soft and sweet as honey, but she could turn into whatever, the defensive lineman, in a minute. She knew how. She was a person that was really good at doing that because they went into a lot of countries. They went into a lot of different countries, and she knew how to work that kind of situation really well. And I learned a lot from her. She was a lot older than me, and got to watch her do that. Oh my goodness! Well, I've been on well over an hour. I don't know if I've said anything that is in any way worth listening to, but I've had fun telling a few stories and stuff. Y'all pray for Biscuit Boy. I don't know if he ever texts me or not. I hope he's okay. He hasn't. Dean's got the. He sent me a picture. He's got the racing cup up ready. I don't think he's in his pajamas. He didn't put that on the picture, but he is watching. So, Brent and Dean, if he's probably not listening, Barry, I don't know if he's still out there, and anybody else, God bless you. And I probably need to flip over here. I probably have something. I was making sure I didn't have anything on the radio side or the MP3 side. I'll probably be back on. I don't do the other show without Paul, so I'll probably do a different show, Cornbread Nation. I don't mind doing this one, but Cornbread Nation is really, really has to be us both. So thanks for the light, Brent. And we'll be back on. I'll do something if it's a history show or whatever, but let me take a little break. And happy Thursday, Friday, the weekend's here. Racing, all kind of racing, all the people that practice, there's all kind of racing going on dirt tracks across the nation. We got a ton of interviews coming. I promise you, we probably got more scheduled now than we had before. We had a ton before, and we're hoping to have what's for us is a really special interview coming up, and we're just waiting for the okay to be given. So we think it's good, but we're talking dates, and we think we're good, but we don't want to jinx it. So, and all of them are important to us like that. It's just a level that we've never been before, and it's a little different. It's a little different. Now that's what I like about it. It's something me and Dean worked on today, and I think we're okay. Dusty said he's ready for the weekend. What's your weekend song, Dusty? Do you have a song for the weekend? Like Friday, it's 5:00, and I'm just saying that's generally people. It's 5:00, and hey, we like having you as a co-host, man. We like having you as a co-host, and you're going to be on here a lot, man. As much as you want. You may get tired of us, Like these guys are stupid. I can't be seen with them. But I remember back in the day, I would go into Atlanta on a Friday afternoon. And people say, why would you go to Atlanta? I used to love to go down there. I would explore. I would look up. I would go to sports stuff. I would go to music stuff. I would go look for like collectible record stores and things like that. Dusty says Brantley Gilbert. Back in the day on 96 Rock, it's not even around anymore. The great 96 Rock. They had their little weekend kickoff, and it was, Bang a Gong, and they had 2 or 3 songs. They always kicked off with that at 5:00. And I'd usually be coming into Atlanta, flying. I mean, everybody's driving like 80 and 90 miles an hour, flying in. And I'd turn that wide open, and then they would just have great music going. There was something about that moment. It's just one of those things that like you can't replicate ever. And it's over. That feeling that I would get when it was, because I was just getting into the city. I was going to have a lot of fun. I was going to eat some great food. I was going to be able to explore, do some things. I was always with somebody. I had friends with me, and they would just be listening. They'd have the music cranked up, and it was kind of our kickoff to the weekend. And I loved it. I'm sure there are thousands of people that would say something similar that lived in the area listening to 96 Rock back in the day. But yeah, kicking off, what is there's a lot of songs about the weekend, right? So, you could have multiples, but it don't have to be a song that even mentions the weekend. It could just be a song that you like, and you're like that kicks me off on the weekend. Like that's the rocket. That song is the rocket that propels me into the weekend. It's officially the weekend. It only lasts for a short time because you hit five and you got maybe 10 or 15 minutes there. That because after that you're really deep into the weekend. It's that little you got to hit it and hit it hard. It's that thing 5 o'clock and you got to hit it. I always say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but you hit that spot and it's like I've worked hard all week and it could be headed home from work. You get in the car, you're pulling out of the parking lot, and you're like, see ya for 2 days or whatever. Maybe you got a vacation the next week, and it's like the best feeling in the world. And you turn up the jams, you loosen the collar. Maybe you're an executive, you get in the tie, you slinging that thing off, Might even squeal the tires a little bit as you're getting out there, a little racing action, I had a friend, he would do that. He drove a Mustang. He'd get that thing sideways on some days leaving work. And you're thinking about all the weekend. I'm gonna enjoy this. Then it flies by and it's Monday. You're like, oh man. And Monday songs are way different than Friday songs, right? It's aggressive. It's like, oh, I got to get amped up to go in here and deal with some things I got to deal with. So Mondays, different. It's you're getting your game. A minute. That's crazy. It was StreamYard kicked me out for a minute, so I apologize for that. That was wild. Thank you, Dusty. That's awful nice. Never get tired of you guys. I love you guys because you guys are fun to hang out with, and you are too. And we said that you fit right in. Boy, it changed my background to the sound stage. There I'm back. But yeah, that was StreamYard. Just said something went wrong. Boom. We forgive you. Thank you. Watchman, that is over. I just let that car ride. That's not for me to do. That's all I'll say. There's nothing wrong. I just no. That's not. I'm not the mentor. I'm not the on that one. But Dusty's going to be around a lot, and he may start his own podcast one day. Who knows? I encourage him to do so. Dusty, we got a lot of space on the times we can get on, so you can even, we get you developed up here. You could develop a little Poff racing show right here on the Southern Patriot, man. There's all kind of things we can do, man. I am not closed individual on it. So, you got it, man. We appreciate you. There's a lot of things that we can do. This is the only rules I have. I really do have limited rules about the podcast. Number one is that listen, we all like to laugh and have fun. I do try to keep it family friendly. I don't get on to people if they say a word here and there. But I'm not going to ever let it be just filth talk. I'm not, because I don't want to hear it. One, and two, I don't want other people to have to hear it, and it drives people away. It's just not what I want to be. And number two is I'm just not going to I will let discussion go as long as it's discussion, even if it's greatly divided, as long as people are not attacking anybody, especially me. I mean, you can disagree with me all day long and say, Dave, that's wrong. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. It does not make me mad. But I won't let guests or people in the chat or especially myself be called names or be picked on or anything like that. I'm just not going to do that. Life is too short to deal with that crap. You know what? Call each other on the phone and deal with it. But I just don't want that. And that's really about it. Be nice. Be respectful. Have fervent disagreement. And that's how we learn. We learn, why do we disagree? And that's the problem in our country, is that we can't talk to each other anymore. It's so divided. Like, we can't even talk. I have a lot of people, we don't agree with each other on some stuff, but we're friends and we discuss stuff. So, yeah, that's it, Watchman. Don't talk ugly. That's all I ask. I just ask that you don't talk ugly Hey, listen, there is 10 million shows out there, and I'm probably not off by that much. All around the world, you can talk as nasty and as dirty as long as you want. They thrive on that. It's not my gig. I don't. It's freedom of speech. I don't care. Let them do it. I mean, you don't have to tune in. It's like turning the dials on the radios. You just, don't want to hear that. I'll go here. This is boring. And that's what people do. They podcast surf. I mean, people jump in all the time. They jump back out. And yeah, man, what can happen? We can help you get there, man. You can do MP3, you can do video, you can do both. There's all kinds of things to do. We can help navigate you there. We're here to help. We're it's fun. Some people don't want to do it. They just like to watch. But for those that want to do it, we're here to help. Test out a show, on the old Southern Patriots. We could test it out. And before you make any kind of investment into that, that's what you do. How many people have you seen? God, I know I just keep talking, but I do want to go and watch a little bit of the duels. But how many people have you seen like, I'm going to get me a guitar. Here's a good one for you, Watchman. And I got to watch because I'm going to be talking about myself. But I didn't go down to the guitar store and plop down $7,000 for a guitar. But how many people have you heard do that? Or they get the exercise equipment and they never use it again. Like they pluck and play around with it, they walk on it, and it sits there gathering dust. And they're groping about how much money they poured into it. Why don't you just go work with somebody who's got one, or buy a cheap one off the rack? A beater. It don't matter if it don't even stay in tune. Find out if you really want to play a guitar. Find out if you really want to walk on the elliptical or whatever it is you're doing. Find out before you ever plop down the investment. Things are dang expensive. And yeah, Watchman. Yeah. Sometimes there is misunderstandings because people, they get this, misunderstand something and they get mad. And, I have that. Well, I have it happen all the time. That's not what I meant. Let me clarify. But yeah, man, go for it. That's what I say. I'm big into telling people to follow their dreams. Brent, who's, I don't know if he's still listening. It's a matter of survival too, of having a business and living and all that, but he's following a dream. And I love that. I'm following a dream. I'm trying to do something. I'm not going to step on people to get there. I'm not going to, I'm going to help others as I go along. The synergy off of that is amazing, and we can all help each other, and we all gain something out of it. It's like people that I tell that come up for the interviews. We want you to tell your story, or people that and sometimes people think you're looking for money, or they'll say, I ain't got no money. I'm like, I'm not looking for your money. Well, I want you to tell your story, or I want you to share about your business or what you're doing. And they'll say, well, what are you going to get out of it? I said, well, I get to listen to you share your story, and I will forever be changed because I'm hearing more about people, and I'm going to get all kinds of blessings out of that. Number two, we're going to get something that somebody wants to listen to. Not everybody, but they're going to say, hey, that was a good interview. Another one they may not like. Suzanne, when she's on next week, you may like her music, you may not. It doesn't matter. But she's someone following a dream, and she's going to come tell you her story. Or Brent, when he comes, going to tell his story. I have high respect for that, working their tails off. I know how much work I've put in here. I know that. There is so much that's went on behind the scenes off the screen. In fact, sometimes I need to turn the camera off and just go to work. So I get it when Brent, when you were saying, I got to go pack some orders. Sometimes you just can't be on the screen. You got to go do the work. There's things I got to do right now, and I'm always in that battle. Go live, do this, and you got to make decisions. And you're working crazy hours. You're working when other people are going doing stuff. You're not complaining because you love it. You eat it up. It's like it's like I love that. I like that song, the Huey Lewis and the News song, I Need a New Drug, because he talks about all the bad things about drugs and stuff. I need a new drug that doesn't make me this, and this. It's an addictive part of what you do in your dream and your thing. And you do have to know when to turn it off and go, okay, I'm going to rest. I'm going to have family time. I'm going to take a break for these hours or a day or whatever. You got to do that. But you do push it really hard. I get that. I'm a worker. My dad raised me to work. And There's a lot that goes into it. And some people don't realize that. They see the end product. They don't realize all the frustrations, all the things that went wrong, all the expense you wasn't expecting that now has got to happen. And the stories are endless, and people that have done if you've done anything in life, you know what I'm talking about. And people get mad, and they get, you said you was going to do this. And look, sometimes things change, and you got to work through all that. Life throws you a bunch of crap, and you got to just deal with it. I love those that are overcome. And a lot of people never make it to the finish line because they finally just say, I quit. Now, listen, quitting comes across your mind. You got to fight through that and keep the dream alive and get there. Make positive steps every day that you can toward your dream and believe in it. Because if you don't believe in your dream, nobody else is going to believe in it either. When me and Rob started the podcast, and we don't work together anymore. He's doing his thing. I'm doing mine. I wish him well. I hope he becomes a huge success. I hope he's on late night on network TV. I do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. There's no competition here for me. I hope he does fantastic. And every other podcaster that I'm friends with. But we had a vision for what we wanted to do. We had to keep the eye on the vision. I think our visions are probably a little different, but it's because we're different people and we were looking for different things. And sometimes some people are looking on this level and some on this level, or looking at here, so there. And, you're kind of navigating that. You're feeling your way through. What is your vision? And sometimes you're redefining what that is as you go. Doors open up. You're like, well, I didn't think about that. This is a good idea. And you just go through those doors and you just keep working it and praying for God to bless it. And you have to say no to a lot of stuff. And you work when you don't feel like working. And it's never work if you're doing what you love, but you keep pushing yourself. And this last 4 months has been hard for me. I don't think anybody, and I don't like to dwell on those things because they're not productive, but I think it's well known that this last 3 to 4 months is me. And I'll say it's been a living hell. I haven't gave up. I've kept moving forward. Did it cross my mind to I would never do it because of, I want to finish the dream. I want to find the dream. And my co-host, I would never do it for that. I would never quit on them. And I've never quit on the people who expect me to be here. But as it crossed my mind, yeah, you get tired, you get weary, you get frustrated, you get whatever. You got to push through. And I'm not talking about the podcast stuff when I say the living hell. That's just an added thing that happened that, you're like, oh man, wife's health, son's in prison, sickness, just work, just things you got to work through every day. And it's life. Everybody's got it. I'm not unique. My God, everybody out there is going through something like that. But a lot of people do sit down and quit. And I'll bring this on a spiritual level before I get off here. And I'll be back. Most likely I'll be back. I'll try my best. I've been on longer now than I thought it was going to be. There were people that were following Jesus. And at some point they turned back. And they never followed again. And he basically said, they were never really with us. They were not of us. And you have to find out who those people are that really do have your six. There are, because you can't be, you have to have help. You have to have people that believe in you and want to help you. And there are people, and I can't tell you how many people that will tell you that, you think that's really good. They will almost like put you down. Like, do you really think that's going to be successful? How do you think you're going to make money at this? Or how do you think, what is your end goal? And they're almost like you're being interrogated. And I'm thinking, I don't deserve that. If you really want to help, then help. But I don't need the interrogation. I've had that along the way. I don't listen to it. I've had people tell me to never do a long show. I never listened to them. I said, no, I'm not buying that. I'll do your little clips. If I never am known, I have 3 people that watch me, I would never not do long shows. I like them. That's what I like. That's what I was raised on. That's what I like. So people are always going to try to pull you down. Some people, you got to know who really believes in you. And your closest are probably less than these fingers on my hand. There'll be people that come along and they'll come into your life and then they'll go out of your life. And God brings them to help you do one thing. And then once that's accomplished, he moves them on. And they were never meant to be there a long time. Then there's going to be people like Dean that come in. And Dean's going to be, Dean will be here when I'm dead. because I'm probably going to die before him. Dean will be at the controls going, it's the Dean Pod Show. And that's great. I'm just saying that. There are people who, the rah-rahs, we're going to conquer the world. I've had this happen my whole life. I'm going to help you, and they're never there. It's a flash in the pan. And what do? You like the guy with the donut commercial. You just keep getting up making the donuts, right? Everybody else is asleep. It's dark outside. I can't tell how many times I've come to the studio in the dark and throughout the day of doing different things, leave late at night, going back home into the house at way deep in the night. And people say, what time did you go to bed last night? I got in bed about 2:00 a.m. What? Why'd you do that? Go to bed. I'm like, work had to be done. Work had to be done. Others sleep and you're working. So I get it, man. I get it, Brent. Dusty, follow your dreams. That racing, you got to keep after it. I know. Yes, I have not reached out to him, but I want to do that very quickly. And I just want to hear his story and help promote him. Rick Renstrom, he's amazing. You're right. And I do need to reach out, and I'll try to do that in the next few days. I will. Hopefully he'll give me at least, 15 or 20 minutes. I'd love to just have him tell his story. And Slash recorded Welcome to the Jungle album on a cheap BC Rich from a pawn shop. Now, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. But I know they didn't have any money, man. They were thin. I mean, yeah, they'd done some drugs, but they were thin because they were starving, man. They didn't have no food, man. It was rough. They were living in, bad places, shacking up, laying on anybody's couch they could. That was tough, but I didn't know that part of the story. I don't think I ever heard that. Can you imagine that? But yeah, everybody that's a musician gets to walk in. They remember that time they got to buy the Gibson or the Fender or whatever it is off the rack. That special, brand new, nobody's played it before but you, or the guy that he starts out with a race card and he finally gets to get the one he really wants or she wants. And you're like, wow, yeah. But you got to pay, what is that? Paying dues, right? Paying dues, and Watchman says that Les Paul on the back of the album and videos was a knockoff Les Paul. Didn't know that. That's why I love stories like that. I listen to them all the time and I use them in the music show because I heard one today. I don't remember I think what it was. I'll forget it and then I'll remember it. But I thought that's another cool little story. And I just love that. I love that. But anyway, let me get off here. I'm going to catch a little bit of the duels and rest my mouth a little bit and drink another cup of coffee. And I'm going to try to be back and do not sports. I'm going to do history, hopefully. We'll see you soon. Going out with some music and this time for real out. I don't know why, man. That was crazy. I've never seen nothing like that. But hey, electronics, you never know what's going to happen, right? It can all happen. All right. What am I going to go out with? I'm trying to think of something I haven't played in a while. I will just go out with this is a good kicker. I like it. All right.